morning.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning. All right. Today's topic of discussion, before we even get started, is going to be on the madness of family businesses. If you need help in this area, go to talkwithbecky.com. We are there on the other end. How do we know about family business?
Well, we've been pretty much in it our whole life.
Life? How old were you when you started working for your family business?
Oh, I was about 7 years old. We owned a jewelry business, and I used to pack the jewelry into the trays in the packing department.
I was 12, and I started with my dad's an accountant. I'm a second generation CPA, but I've been a CPA for over 20 some odd years, but I've been in the industry since I was 12, and I started with payroll. Mm-hmm. I actually started answering the phones for him during tax season on Saturday, and I got sucked in from there.
Yeah, pretty much groomed to take over the business.
I was.
And so was I.
Yes, we both were. It was crazy. But we didn't know each other. But funny story, that's how we met. We met through the family businesses. We were their accountants. And Eric's brother was the heavy on that one, ran the company. And my dad was the accountant. So my mom and I worked in the firm with my dad, and that's how I met Eric, and I absolutely despised him when I first met him. You're so pompous.
I was not pompous. I was confident.
There's a fine line.
No,
he crossed it.
I was very confident.
Come on. You were so pompous.
I was regal.
Yeah. Oh.
I like that word.
Oh, you were regal. Okay.
It's the perfect word.
Okay. Wow. For the purpose of conversation today, this is going to get ugly, I think. The purpose of our conversation today is talking about the dynamic and the madness that actually occurs behind the scenes of a family business. It is very, very difficult. Eric and I are products of it, and we suffered the perils, to be honest, I think. And it wasn't until we actually met each other that we figured it out. Like, I sort of didn't know that I was like suffering through a family business. I just kind of took it for that's what it is, right? I mean, that's how you grow up. You grow up in the business. You grow up seeing it. When you live in a family of entrepreneurs that Eric and I lived in, and then you just take it that's like normal. It's like how it is, and then
overworked and underpaid.
Underappreciated. Abused is more like it.
They don't want to understand what you have to say, especially when you're learning the new ways of running a business.
And we were the babies of the families, so
made it
everybody.
Worse.
You want to know what the worst part was? We were just talking about this. We're like, Eric would come up with like unbelievable. He ran a full department. Of over how many employees?
About 125 people. In
the jewelry company. And I was running the tax department when I was a senior in college. So here I am coming out of college with new school and new training. Mailman's going by. We're sitting outside today because it's so beautiful. New training and whatever. I had great ideas, right? And Eric has the same thing. Great ideas about efficiency and working with the 125 employees. And like, they would look at us like, no. But then they'd use the ideas.
And then they take credit.
And on top of that, as if that's not enough, demoralize us in the midst.
Like, time you come up with the idea, it's no.
No,
all of a
that
sudden,
never worked.
They sit and think about it, and they realize, maybe that's the better way. Then they try to to say, oh, it's okay, and then you go ahead and put it in force, and then it's as if they did it.
And where did that actually get them? We left. Big problem when you leave a family business, especially I'm Italian, from the old-fashioned Italian family, 2 older brothers. I'm the baby girl. I am just supposed to listen and do as they say. Like, you do it this way, take all the abuse and whatever. And I was like, and we kind of got together, and he was like, I am like in the same boat. So we were like, you know what? Let's just screw this. And we came up with what every small business owner comes up with. We could do it better. And we set out on the course to do it better. And I mean, I think we did do it better, to be honest with you.
Of course we did.
But nonetheless, we're hopping in here today because we know the pain, and we want to help you understand maybe how you can work through that. And we actually work hands in hand with several well, mostly all small business owners that we deal with are family run. So, but it's not always just a husband and wife team. It's brother, sister, it's brother,
Father, son,
yeah,
daughter.
like brother, father, son, whatever. And how to navigate through that, because it's not easy. Like with me, my dad owned the business, and I was always going to be his baby girl under his thumb, no matter what. That's just the way it was going to be. And so we broke away from that, but we also took a lot from it. We learned a lot from it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So
what not to do.
Yeah. Exactly. So
sometimes that's the best lesson.
I agree. So what's your first tip?
Well,
Because there's so many. There's
Oh
so
my
many, but
God.
we can't. We only have a certain amount of time. We have a softball injury fund tournament to go to. So
I would say the most important of all is when you first get started, or even if it's not, because it's a family business, usually going down generation, but structure is very important.
Agreed.
If it's going to be a partnership agreement should be in place. It should kind of outline at least what's happening, how the business will be run, job responsibilities. All that stuff has to be talked about, ironed out. Job descriptions, things that that they're ultimately responsible for within the business. But then it gets, obviously it's going to spew off a little bit. Sometimes you're going to be doing a lot of different things, but as long as the structure's in place, partnership agreement, communication, I think would be another thing. You want to talk about communication?
Well, I got to go back to the partnership agreement, because if I ever presented my dad the partnership agreement, where was that going to go?
Nowhere.
So you have to be mindful of who you're working with. You're going old school, new school, meshing together. Very difficult. Very difficult. But it still can be done. We've done it. And we've made it. Actually, we've done it in such a way. The greatest thing is that we kind of know how to handle it depending on the type of individual that's running the show right now and the one coming in to the business for business succession. Really, a lot of this is business succession planning. And sometimes when you talk to the older generation, if they're the ones, like if it's a father son or whatever that is, and you look at it, you're like, look, you know what, you need an exit strategy, because you can't be here for the rest of your life, nor should you want to be, right? But you still want to get the paycheck, you want the benefits. So what we do is we work from a different strategy to implement that partnership agreement. Like if I ever went in my dad's office and said, I want a partnership agreement, I want to know how much I get, when I get it, he'd be like, yeah, okay, kid, go back and do a tax return. So approaching that would have been different, right? I mean, approaching it would have been, all right, Dad, so listen, how long are you going to stay, right? And however long you want to stay, stay. You want to go to Florida for 6 months, come back, great, right? Unfortunately, it didn't work out this way. It didn't. But these are the tools, and this is how we work with other clients. But yes, communication is another one. That's the second one, because I don't know a family business that has clear lines of communication in it. I just don't. I've never seen it on the onset. I see it once we go into the family business and we assist, but I don't ever see it prior to that. It's always like build up, right? Like maybe one sibling is thinking on the inside, well, I do more work than the other sibling. Why are they getting paid more than me, or whatever? Or why is my dad or your brother taking the fruits of my labor and I'm not getting that? So, but the buildup of that eventually will erode and explode, and it does nothing for anyone positively.
Yeah, it'll either destroy the business or it'll destroy the family.
Right.
So why put yourself in that position to begin with? If you have open lines of communication, and if you're feeling these issues, you have to bring it up. It has to be discussed. The longer it savors inside and builds, it's not good. It happens to so many different businesses too. I would tell you, family business is.
It's one of the most difficult dynamics to deal with.
Absolutely.
And unless you come through one, and you come through one in a tough way like Eric and I did, you really have no forbearance on how to fix it. And so at talkwithbecky.com...
Sorry about that.
Traffic. We deal with that. We assist with family businesses and that dynamic. Because what will happen is, Eric, you're absolutely right. Like, the family, there's two different things going on here. It's business and family on the outside of the business as well as on the inside. So you're taking a lot of what happens outside in.
You're bringing it in.
And then you're taking a lot of what happens in, taking it out. So that's the challenge, is that separation and that communication when things don't feel right or when they do feel right, you know?
But one thing about the communication as well is not only do you generally want to communicate outside of the business, but there should be structured meetings so that this type of thing is discussed amongst partners or owners or the siblings that are involved. And the more you communicate, in other words, it's like block time to communicate and strategize for the business so that everybody's a part of it and everybody can talk about whose responsibilities are what, and if that's going to affect, you know, compensation or share percentages down the line. Like, this is all the stuff that never really gets talked about, and this is what happens. It just,
exactly.
Yeah, it's,
I mean, you do that with your teams when you're not family. Why, especially why wouldn't you do it when you are family? Because I feel like family should be a unified front in the business, and we're all going for the same thing, right? We're all on the same team here. So, can you just hit that? So, you know, it's just a little bit, it just makes everything work like a more well-oiled machine. And when the family is sharing the vision just like a team, it dominates because you're blood related, so it's more like you are totally a force and totally on the same team because you care about one another and you only want what's best for your family.
And you always want to work within each other's strengths too. A lot of times, you know, somebody's better in the finance, somebody's better in, say, it's developing a product, you know, manufacturing. Somebody may be better in sales. It's all part of the business model. So, you know, work within your strengths. Help your sibling or whoever else is involved with exploring deeper into like what is it they're doing. Like, it's a team approach even with the family. So and that's exactly the point, is that just like a husband and wife team where, you know, fortunately all the money gets to come home, family is the same situation. It's all still building the family, it's building the empire, it's building the dynasty. These are the types of things you need to think about when you're working with your family. It's not getting caught up in the scuffle of who's doing what and when and who's getting paid more and this is not fair. And a lot of times it does come from, you know, the parents who don't know any better, you know, because they're not dealing with new school techniques. They're dealing with old school ideas, and it's my business and I built it and I'm giving it to you. And
business succession is a very difficult thing for old school, because they feel like they're being cut out versus enjoying the fruits of their labor while they're not there anymore, and letting a new generation take it over and bring it to the next level for them, right? And so that's where we strategize and we come into play. But you know, we were in it. So because we were in it trying to explain that to our own family members, it wasn't going to work. A third party needs to come in sometimes and be the voice of reason and show each party how they're going to benefit from this. Because obviously we're still all human, all individuals, and we're trying to protect ourselves and our own families outside of a family business. So, you know, I mean, I totally agree about the meetings, the setup, the agreement setup, most certainly. And business succession planning is a real deal. We see it more and more now than ever. I don't know if it's the baby boom generation that's like still at the top. And so now the families are coming, like the younger generation is coming through. That's who we're dealing with predominantly. And
but even more so, what happens a lot of times is nobody's really thinking succession planning. So what happens is the business really isn't worth anything. They're not building their balance sheet. They're not looking as to how to transfer this business.
Transition, yeah, because a lot of times too, what we've seen is like they wait until
it's too late.
The original owner just wants to get out, and now they can't. Because I mean, a real family business transition out should take about 5 years, about 5 or 6 years out. If you're gonna do it like real like ironclad, nice, easy transitions, so none of the clients get disrupted, I always say 5. You know, I look at it 5. It takes a year or 2 to identify which family member is going to step in those shoes. It takes another couple of years for the original owner to train and pull the next one coming in through their paths and introduce them around to the clientele base or whatever. however that works,
but just
right?
even
And
though-
then the last year is kind of like a phasing out year. So yeah, I think 5 years, it can be done in 3 aggressively, but I mean, I'm more comfortable coaching through a 5-year program because, again, you know, especially if the original owner wants a full buyout, just wants out. I mean, because you have to build a balance sheet. It's going to take some time to build a balance sheet to sell to the bank to get the loan if you need a loan to do the buyout, right? And that kind of thing. So I'm looking at 5 years. But nonetheless, family businesses are pretty much the solid root of small businesses in the United States of America. And I mean, to me, it's part of the American dream. And being where we come from, we were groomed to be entrepreneurs. Both of our families, we were born and stuck in a family business.
And now we have multiple businesses.
And now we have multiple businesses. But, I mean, it's all good. It's just you have to know how to work through the dynamic. And we love assisting with it because we've lived it for, I'm not saying my age. Are you going to say your age? I'm not saying. For several years.
Young.
We've lived that.
I'm young. I'll always be young.
But the experience that we've had has pretty much made us experts in the zone. So
Plus, it's an area that we like.
yes, I love it.
Because we get the family dynamic involved.
Yeah.
It's
And then we sort of
it can be
become part of the families.
Yeah, it can be very entertaining.
We don't make fun.
But what's even funny is that
We
even
just
after
like scratch our heads and we're like, we thought we saw it all.
yeah.
It just keeps coming.
But what's good too, and I'll do a little plug here, is that even once we deal with the succession aspect of it, we do family CFO, so we can actually even help the one who's retiring manage their finances.
To make sure that it's going to carry them and work going forward. So anyway, if you have any questions or you are in a family business, oh my God, give us your best. Give us your best in the comments.
Give us a good story.
Yeah, we want to hear it. Or go to talkwithbecky.com if you have any of these issues and you just want to talk through them and see if we can help you out. I'm sure that we can because we've been through a lot of it. We've been through the ringer with our own families. And it's okay though because we came out ahead of it.
Yeah.
You know, like we really learned from it and now we can help others learn from it so that they don't lose the best ones that are coming through the ranks, right? Because you don't want to lose that. You want to keep that business going on. You want that legacy and empire like Eric talked about.
Create the empire.
Yeah.
The dynasty.
All right, we're off to softball. We hope you guys are going to have an amazing day. It is absolutely gorgeous today. Get outside. Get outside. Little vitamin D and some sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
Have a great day.
See you later.
Talk soon.